goes to Nissan because we've only had to wait 6 months before a chance to drive the new Nissan Patrol, an SUV that is truly legend. Wait for it. Dairy. Hey everyone, Vince here from AutoIndustriya, and yeah, we've got the new 7th generation Patrol for you. Now, since 1951, the Patrol has been setting the bar high when it comes to 4x4 SUVs that can go absolutely anywhere. Because the first generation of this was able to climb Mount Fuji up to 2,500 meters. Now, think about that altitude for a second. Because if you've been to 5th station at Mount Fuji, that's at 2,300. This was able to do that back in the 50s. And by then, I don't think there were many roads over in that area. But the Patrol has really evolved to becoming a vehicle, the go-to if you want to go anywhere. You want to cross ravines? No problem. You want to traverse floods? No problem. You want to travel the entire desert? No problem in the Patrol. And a lot of those learnings have factored into the newer generations and culminating with this one we see here today. It's even become a veritable luxury SUV, which can really keep you comfortable and also protect you up to and including heads of state. Yep, the Patrol really can do anything. Now let's go around the design. Clearly, it's very bold. It's very prominent. That's what Nissan is going for with this vehicle. The shape itself, very boxy, very macho, but also sophisticated. You can see it with the lights, dual C-style lamps there, the DRLs, very striking, with the LEDs right underneath. The V-Motion grille, it's the latest interpretation of it, very classy, along with the new Nissan logo. Now, if you look at the front, you'll see some very unique features here. For example, this right here, that's a sensor. That's a sensor for the ProPilot system, along with the camera up there on the glass. You'll see that at the top of the glass just above the rear view mirror. That's also for the ProPilot system. It all works in conjunction. And also, if you look around the car, you'll see a lot of cameras on the front, the mirrors and all that. That's for the 3D around view monitor system, which is the next step up when it comes to the AVM. But what's great here is that you see the size of the vehicle? This is over 5.3 meters long. That's almost 200 millimeters longer than the previous Y63, which we all know and love. And then the width, 2 meters, but the height. You see that the height is actually variable. And that's because this one comes with air suspension. Yes, air suspension, you can adjust it. And you can see it when you look inside. You'll see all the wires and hoses for the air suspension. If we look here, for example, this is the amount of movement that it actually has. So this is in the high setting, and then in the low setting for getting in and out, it drops down to like right over here, which is a huge difference. It makes getting in and out easier, especially for the elderly, very useful. You'll see here on the side, pretty much straightforward. It's got V60 there. We'll show you what that means in a bit. Side steps, very generous. And this one has that two-tone look. This is what Nissan is going to be launching when they go with the Patrol later on. Once customers are getting their cars, it's going to be the two-tone look. And you can see also the interior, but more on that later. The wheels, very nice. Air suspension also in the back. And then, of course, vented disc in the front and in the back. Here in the rear, you can see the full-width LED lamps, which very, very striking again. The way they do the LED there, very, very clean. Patrol proudly spelled out on the lift gate. New Nissan logo. You'll see a few things here. For example, a camera here, some of the details here, and then you've got the receptacle where you can mount a pintle hook or a ball, depending on what you want to pull. Now, the tailgate, the lift gate, is motorized as expected of a Nissan Patrol, and the length here is actually already very good. I mean, this is already 17.5, and then this is 52 inches all in all. And then you can fold down the rear seats. There you go, let's fold these both down. And when you do that, the length goes up to 48, which is very good for a vehicle. Nissan says they generated 30% more cargo space in this vehicle. And in this configuration, you get a lot more, around 72.5 inches. Right up to here, you can get more, but why would you want to? We'll save the screen for later on. Now, when we close this all up, actually before we close it all up, I want to show you one more thing. right here. See this? This is how you can actually lower and raise the vehicle from the back. So if you're loading up something big and heavy, you can do that right here very easily. 12-volt outlet there, compartment here, which is rather cool. Oh, one more thing I want to show you right here, right under here. See this? This is not just a box, that's a subwoofer. That's a subwoofer for the very premium audio system Nissan has in this vehicle. Now that it's closed up, let's show you what's under the hood. To pop open the hood, as with any vehicle, you just pull a lever here and then it unlatches it there. But what's nice about these vehicles, especially something this tall, which you can see already the height relative to me, is that it's got the assist. Makes it very easy. Powering the Patrol is a V6 twin-turbo gasoline engine, but it's the latest evolution of their technology when it comes to gasoline engines because it uses a lot of the learnings they have also with the GTR. So that is 7% more than the V8 they had before. Torque, 700 Newton meters, which is 25% than the V8, despite the fact that it's a 3.5, not a bigger 5-liter V8 engine. A lot of development really went into this new generation Patrol, starting with the engine. It uses a more heat-resistant turbo, or actually 2 turbos right there. It also uses a scavenger oil pump, which is something you normally see in a GTR. It's used for high G applications, or in the case of a Patrol, when it's tilted, it's going to be able to get oil up to the head, no problem. And speaking of going off-road, that's really going to be something very, very useful because the Patrol is a go-anywhere vehicle. It's got a new 9-speed automatic transmission taking care of everything, along with a 4-wheel drive system with a new intelligent traction system for any kind of terrain. It's got so many settings, and together with the air suspension, you're going to be able to go through all kinds of terrain and lift the vehicle and have a bit more fun. It makes me wish that if I had one of these, I would really fit it with nice all-terrain tires. So we're finally aboard the all-new Nissan Patrol. And the step up from the previous model, I have to say, it's incredible. You know, to be honest with you, Nissan could have just done the bare minimum and get away with it with the Patrol. You know, they could have put a bit more nicer leather here, put in a few more technology bits there, and called it a day. But to be honest, they didn't. They lavished upon the Patrol. And you see it from the moment you step inside. The moment you hold the steering wheel, it's very thick, it's supple on the hand. I don't think I've ever used the word supple on the hand for a steering wheel before, but it is what it is. It's got the latest gizmos for the controls with the dials, the knobs. I'm not going to play with all of that right now, but also the screen here, Nissan calls this the monolith screen. It's actually a pair of screens, 14.3 for the driver, for the instrument display, and 14.3 here in the middle to control everything else. And then the interior design. They've got this nice leather on the dashboard, on the console. Very fantastic to the eye and to the touch. Soft touch, of course. This is a premium vehicle after all. And here in the middle, you've got your veritable control panel for everything else. So, camera, volume, your climate control, AC stuff, it's very easy to find, and even when you're driving, it's going to be very convenient to use. And then you got your seat cooler, seat warmer, individual controls for the driver and front passenger. Same goes with the back. And then you have your 4-wheel drive controls here. So 4 high, 4 low, the rear diff lock, stability control off, but why would you do that unless you're seriously going off-road? And then you have your transmission control. So PR and D, and then if you press D again, it's a manual mode. On the right, you have your control for the air suspension. So you can't really do the raise up manually. It all depends on the modes that you're in. So for example, if you're in the off-road modes, it will go to the high. And then if you're in the standard mode and the eco mode and the sport mode, it'll drop down to the normal high. So it depends on where you're driving. And then your auto start stop is there. But it just seems like it was very well thought out from feedback from people who actually drive and enjoy Patrol every day. And that's what Nissan is catering to. They're catering to this customer base, this very big customer base of people who enjoy off-road and people who enjoy luxury. And how do I say that? Well, Sitting right here, these seats are absolutely fantastic because Nissan has been working on these NASA-inspired seats. And of course, being a Patrol, the comfort is legendary and taken up a notch, especially with the quilted brown leather here. And the way they do the leather in the Patrol, you actually have two options. This is the standard option, but you can order the one with the red. Now, if you're the type of person who's going to enjoy the Patrol while seated in the back, don't worry. The same kind of technology, the same kind of design considerations with the shape of the seat are the same with the back. You've even got a massive center armrest where you can relax and a pair of screens as your rear entertainment monitor, along with the panoramic glass roof there. It really is all the bells and whistles in the Patrol, all ready for you for when you want to go out for an adventure. Now let's talk about Nissan Intelligent Mobility, because this one comes packed with a lot of these kinds of technologically advanced features. So for example, you've got the intelligent cruise control that maintains your distance to the vehicle ahead on the highway automatically and very, very intelligently, because it uses the camera and these sensors, including a laser rangefinder. But what we really like, and it is an opportune moment now that we have goats up in front, is the 360 camera system that Nissan calls the 3D AVM. So if I press this button here, I can see the view up front. I can see our friendly neighborhood goats up there in front. And then I can press the wide view so I can see exactly where they are and kind of give them a nudge. Hey guys, hello friends. See, I see the little goats over there. I can use the camera here. This is not scripted, by the way. This is actually right up there. And see, we have avoided all of them. And that's the beauty of the Nissan 3D AVM right there. How cool is that? Now, if you're also looking at this from a visibility standpoint, you've also got the intelligent rear view mirror, which basically avoids from you having to look at this as an actual mirror. And it uses the camera there in the back, like I showed you earlier. So you get a nice clear view of what's behind you. And also when it comes to connectivity, right? We're talking about the CarPlay, the Android Auto. Don't worry, they got you covered on that front. And even a wireless charging pad right here, perfectly placed. And it's got this detail which is going to remind you more of like the sand dunes over there in the desert. Because Nissan, well, their core customer for a lot of these models are people who enjoy going out in the desert. Nissan did do Dakar and all these other cross-country rallies over the desert for so many different years. And they're taking a bit of that heritage into the Patrol. They even have, since 1951, printed over there in the back. But if you're the type that enjoys a great soundtrack, then you're gonna love the audio system they developed together with Klipsch. It's got 12 speakers all in all, including the subwoofer in the back. So yes, just think of how many speakers this has. And it's got 600 watts of power. But if you prefer the other soundtrack, well, you can just pop it into sport mode and floor it. Whoa, that's 700 Newton meters of torque and 425 horsepower. And that's what's great about the Patrol. They were able to deliver more power from a smaller engine thanks to turbo technology. Sorry, twin turbo technology in this Patrol. And together with that 9-speed auto, it's going to deliver even better efficiency. Nissan says up to 24% more. Man, I want to go driving off-road, but there is a bit of a queue to drive the Patrol today, so we'll save that for later on. I'm sure we'll find a nice trail somewhere outside of Metro Manila where we can really put this to the test. And I have no doubts that it's going to make it through, no problem. Yes, the Nissan Patrol is now in the Philippines, and dealers are now taking orders for this very much upscale 4x4 SUV. And the retail price, you know what? Take a guess. Because we think it's going to surprise you once we announce the retail price, which, if you know your pricing in that segment, is a very attractive one considering the size, the technology, and everything else you get with it, including the capability. If you want to know more about the new Nissan Patrol, head on over to your nearest Nissan dealer so you can try one for yourself if they have a unit that you can try one. Because I have a feeling this is gonna sell like hotcakes. Very big hotcakes.